Okay, today is Tuesday, July 18th, and these are today's release notes for those who haven't seen them. Festival of the Four Winds. On behalf of Queen Jenna of Kryda and the Lion's Captain's Council, you're cordially invited to participate in the return of the Festival of the Four Winds. High atop the labyrinthine cliffs, our Zephyrite friends have been working in tandem with Lion's Arch to host an incredible variety of fun vendors and events to entertain visitors from all across Tyria. This celebration of unity and peace between our cultures is more important than ever before, and we hope that you will join us for the festivities. In the spirit of this cooperation, Queen Jenna has personally overseen the reopening of the Crown Pavilion, featuring a variety of challenges for Tyria's finest to test their mettle. Transportation to the festivities couldn't be easier. Special hot air balloons are now stationed in each nation's capital city. Visitors can also sail directly from the ship from Lion's Arch. We look forward to seeing you at the festival. Captain Ellen Keel. New updates and prizes this year include completing the annual Four Winds Customs meta achievement to earn the Zephyrite headband, a new head armor piece crafted in the Zephyrite tradition. Let me see if I can get the skin of that. Let's see. Armor skins, Zephyrite, headband, switching over to here, medium. And that, wow, it makes me think of the Ninja Turtles. Very, very long headband tails. I'm guessing they all look the same. Yep, just the other two put me in my underwear. Okay, neat. That actually looks kind of cool. New Sun Crown weapon set is available. You'll receive your choice of weapon by progressing the annual Four Winds Customs Meta Achievement and the weekly Four Winds Festivities Achievement. Let me see if I can find that. Going to weapon skins here. Sun Crown. It's Sun Grown, not Crown. There we go. All right, here we go. Nature themed. Okay. Sun-grown sword, sun-grown hammer, longbow, shortbow, axe, dagger, greatsword, mace, pistol, rifle, flower, scepter, staff, focus. Is it just like a bouquet? It's a bouquet. All right. Focus, torch, warhorn, and shield. Alright. Contents of Zephyrite supply boxes have been updated, including a new cosmetic infusion and 3 new weapons crafted by traveling weaponsmiths. Added a new miniature and a new cooking recipe to the festival reward vendors in Labyrinthine Cliffs and Crown Pavilion. Updated trade prices at the Zephyrite Bazaar. Added new guild decorations drawn from Canthan architecture. Various bugs and glitches have been fixed to ensure a safer and more pleasant festival for all participants. Blah, 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 can't talk. The Festival of the Four Winds will be available for 3 weeks from July 18th to August 8th. Enjoy the festivities. General changes. Fixed multiple issues involving fishing tonics. Fixed an issue that allowed players to use the Rusted Necklace of the Mist to negate boss mechanics and attacks. This item can no longer be used while in combat. I didn't hear about this one at all. Oh, okay. I missed that memo. Fractals. Silent Surf. The Silent Surf Challenge Moat is now available to players who have completed Silent Surf on Master Tier. Oh boy. As always, I will try to learn how to do this as soon as possible and get a get-to-the-point guide out as soon as I am confident that I've learned all the mechanics. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue that caused the final boss to create fewer Rending Storm area of effect attacks than intended. Fewer? There was supposed to be more? Dude, I feel like the last third of that fight is just us constantly running away and splitting up, and then we get back together for 1 second, and then we have to run away again. Fixed an issue preventing several mislock instabilities from functioning correctly. Fixed an issue that allowed players to dodge a World Cleaver. Wait! Oh no! Okay, so that's the huge ability that goes across the whole platform, and you're supposed to like follow the orange beams, and then that makes a white beam, and you follow the white beam, and you special action, and use the one key to grappling hook to another platform, and then you kill the clone, and only you could see the clone, so the rest of your group better hope that you killed the clone. But if you fail to do all that, you could dodge the big thing. You can't dodge it anymore. You gotta do the mechanic. You better hope your teammates do the mechanic. Alright, fix an issue that allows players to dodge frightening speed. Was that when he would charge around the room? I feel like that should be dodgeable. Fix an issue that caused the telegraphs for frightening speed to disappear sooner than intended. Fixed an issue that could sometimes cause players to fail to enter a wind cannon or fail to launch when exiting. Okay, I never had that issue, but it's good it's getting fixed. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused players to be stuck in Phantasmagoria longer than intended. Fixed an issue that it prevented players from interacting with more than one Mistlock Singularity. I did have that one. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused zipline ropes to detach from the pittons. I don't know what a pitton is. Fixed an issue that caused the final zipline platform to be offset from its rope. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused the aspects to take longer than intended to apply Phantasmagoria during World Cleaver's windup. I think that's the thing that lets you see the white beam and the clone that you're supposed to kill. Fixed an issue that caused all aspects to use Aspect of Death skills instead of the variants of those skills associated with their aspect type. I didn't even know they had variants. Fixed an issue that prevented players from being able to interact with the portal after defeating the final boss in normal mode. Fixed an issue that caused parachute ammo to not be consumed in some circumstances. Added a name and description to the flare skill on the survey gear bundle. The final boss now has descriptors under his health bar. Fixed an issue affecting the Jade Sea legs and Peace and Quiet achievements. Alright. General, increase the recharge times for Dread Visage, Frightening Speed, and Rending Storm. Okay, that's good. Again, as I mentioned a minute ago, it feels like the last third of the fight is just constantly get back together, oh, we gotta run away again. Get back together, oh, we gotta run away again. And I think it's good to space those out just a bit more. Breaking the final boss's Defiance now reduces the recharge speed of his skills for several seconds. Added on-screen messaging and visual effects to better communicate some mechanics during the final encounter. Defeating the final boss grants max ammo for all survey gear skills. Gorg will no longer send in-game mail to characters about Silent Surf. Captain Thess now has access to several support skills. He now wields a scepter instead of a sword. Okay. Professions. Elementalist. Reduced initial, Flame Strike. Reduced initial burning duration from 1.5 to 1 second, and the secondary burning duration from 2.5 to 1.5 in PvP and World v World. Just to save time, is all of this competitive? No, some of them are different. Okay. Shatterstone, increased cooldown from 3 seconds to 6 in competitive modes. Water Trident, reduced power coefficient from 1.25 to 1.0 in PvP and World v World. Reduced the bonus damage from 50 to 33% in World v World only. Hurl, reduced the power coefficient from 0.33 to 0.26 in competitives. Churning Earth, reduced power coefficient from 1.75 to 1.5 in competitives. Reduced bleeding from 8 stacks to 4 in competitives. Signet of Restoration, increased cooldown from 20 to 25 seconds in competitives. Signet of Earth got 5 more seconds on its cooldown in the same. Signet of Water, reduced condition duration from 20% to 10% in competitives. Written in Stone, reduced the Frost Aura duration from 4 seconds to 2 seconds in PvP and World v World. I know Written in Stone has been problematic with Full Signet Catalyst. There's been a lot of very funny meme videos. Buddy Cormier on YouTube had me laughing out loud at this most recent one. But yeah, it's been an issue. Even like really high, like I've been occasionally watching like Syndriner and other really high level PvP players that are like Plat 3 and stuff, and it's just like they're cussing up a storm because they keep queuing into matches where there's like 3, 4, 5 catalysts on the enemy team. Catalyst, deploy Jade Sphere Fire, reduce might duration from 8 seconds to 5 in competitives. Energized Elements, reduce might duration from 6 seconds to 3 in competitives. Spectacular Sphere, reduce might stacks from 5 to 1 in competitives. Reduced Vigor duration from 5 seconds to 3 in competitives. Reduced Fury duration from 5 seconds to 3 in competitives. Reduced Resistance duration from 4 seconds to 2 in PvP and World v World. Elemental Epitome, reduce Frost Aura duration from 4 seconds to 2 in competitives, and Staunch Auras reduce stability duration from 2 seconds to 1 in PvP only. Interesting. So, yeah, the Catalyst, especially with, I think it was Written in Stone, was able to generate a lot of auras on itself, and the most, the toughest ones to deal with, because there's nothing in the game that removes auras. Maybe there should be. But the toughest ones to deal with are Frost Aura, which chills everyone that hits them, and Magnetic Aura, which reflects all projectiles, which makes many classes just have to sheath their weapon and stop attacking, or swap to another option if they have one. So them having just constant uptime on all that stuff was very tough to deal with, plus the fact that they were murdering you the whole time. Engineer Vital Burst. Increase healing attribute scaling from 1.03 to 1.7. Ooh, that's actually quite substantial in competitive modes. Vital Burst. I want to say that that's Medkit 4, but I would have to double check. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Infusion Bomb. Reduce cooldown from 30 seconds to 20 seconds in competitives. Reduce boon duration from 10 seconds to 6 in competitives. That's Medkit 5. That's when you throw the small item on the ground and a moment later it explodes and does, I believe, regen, swiftness, and vigor. And it's a blast finisher. Super Elixir, which I believe is Elixir Gun 5, increased initial healing attribute scaling from 0.4 to 0.8 in competitive modes. Scrapper, Blast Gyro, reduce the cooldown from 25 to 20 seconds in PvE only. Increase the might duration from 8 seconds to 15 in PvE only. Oh, that's very interesting. So Blast Gyro, long ago it used to be like charging, knock everyone back. Then they changed it to knock down because knockback was too messy for like fractals and stuff like that. The fact that, but it's also one of the top sources of might generation for Heal Scrapper. So heal, one, because it generates a lot of might, and two, because it is both a fire field and then it blast finishers its own fire field. So while it is charging, you can do more blast finishers, and any blast finisher in a fire field gives might to your whole party. So this is a source of a lot of might. So reduced cooldown and higher duration will be helping support scrappers keep might on their party, possibly also help DPS scrappers if they want to help their group with might uptime. Yeah, that's a nice change, I think. Guardian Symbol of Resolution. This skill can now be interrupted by other skills. Ray of Judgment has reduced aftercast. Binding Blade. This skill will now use a different animation with less aftercast. Wonder what the new animation is. Willbender. Phoenix Protocol. This trait now grants alacrity to the Willbender when activating Flowing Resolve. 5 seconds in PvE, 3 seconds in PvP, and World v World, which can be shared to allies with Battle Presence. Reduce the alacrity duration when Resolve triggers from 1.5 seconds to 1 second in PvE only. Restorative Virtues. This trait will now give you Vigor instead of alacrity. Interesting. I don't play Willbender, but I'm wondering how this will impact their lack uptime on themselves, or if they will be completely fine without that. Mesmer, Chronomancer. Stretch time, reduce Phantasm alacrity duration from 2 seconds to 1 second in PvP and 3 seconds to 1 second in World v World. Wow. I gotta say, it seems like they're just taking every skill that gives quickness or a lack in World v World and making it like, 1 second duration. Like, if you don't want it in that game mode, you could just remove the boon in that game mode. Having all these skills with 1 second of alacrity in World v World is like, oh boy, my other skills cool down by 0.2 of a second. I was like, what's the point at that point? Alright. That's just my own thoughts intruding in. Seize the Moment, reduce Phantasm quickness duration from 2 seconds to 1 second in PvP and 3 seconds to 1 second in World v World. Mirage, Chaos Vortex. This skill no longer applies Alacrity and now applies Fury to nearby allies. Mirage Mantle. This trait has been reworked and now improves ambush skills. Axes will inflict cripple. Mirage Thrust removes a boon from struck foes. Ether Barrage grants quickness to self. Split Surge does increase damage. Chaos Vortex is AoE Alacrity. Ambush Assault is might to self. And Wave of Panic also inflicts torment. Virtuoso, Blade Turn Requiem. Increase power coefficient from 0.2 to 0.3 in PvE and 0.15 to 0.2 in World v World and PvP. Just turn the music down a little bit. Maybe I should have done that earlier, sorry. Necromancer, Well of Blood. Oh, this should be good. Reduced initial base self-heal from 5.1k to 2.9k, in PvE only. Increase the base pulse heal from 280 to 664 in PvE. Increase the pulse heal attribute scaling from 0.4 to 0.5. Okay, so less heal the moment you hit it, but possibly you recover that health over time standing in it. But that also means the pulse healing also hits your whole party, if they're in it. So essentially less immediate healing on you, but more pulse healing to your team. Okay. Scourge Sand Cascade. Increase base barrier from 996 to 1188 in PvE. Only increase barrier attribute scaling from 1.25 to 2. That's a substantial increase in scaling. So if you're running healing power, the barrier will probably be much larger than before. Desert Empowerment, increased Alack duration from 1 second to 1.5 in PvE. Increase base barrier from 385 to 572 in PvE. Increase barrier attribute scaling from 0.75 to 1.0. So again, barrier scaling is being increased here, and Alack uptime being increased. I showed this in one of my recent videos, but for anyone who hasn't tried Scourge giving Alack since they gave them that option, it is absolutely possible to do. It was really sweaty. You were having to constantly mash keys, and this will hopefully give you a little bit more leeway to, you know, like it was at the point where you would have to be hitting the keys to give Alack so much, you sometimes felt like you couldn't even use your weapon skills. So this should hopefully give you a little bit of breathing room to be able to actually press other buttons. Can anyone provide a link? Yeah, exclamation patch has the notes. There it is right there. Sandstorm Shroud. This skill now will give 1.5 seconds of protection to nearby allies each pulse, and 3 seconds of prot to nearby allies on detonation. So with this, your support Scourge should be able to provide Max Might, Fury, Regen, Prot, and Alacrity. Most of the usual support boons, but not Swiftness. The only way they can give their group stability, I think, is if you stand in the Trail of Anguish, which is a really, really small hitbox. They have better reviving than most supports. That's still not what it was, but better than most supports. But from what I know, way, way lower ability to fill health bars. I think Support Scourge is now an extremely solid option for a second healer, or one of the 2 healers in a raid group. I tried it in Fractals, and tier 4s, it was fine. On CMs, like Sunquad stuff, it was difficult. Because, like, you know, someone might go down, I'd revive them, easy, slap a barrier on them, put regen on them. Didn't really have a lot of other ways to fill their health bar back up. Like, there's one trait that's like heal 2 to 3k when you come out of Shroud, but that was a drop in the bucket for healing someone up from, you know, 1% health. So it really felt like I was struggling in like the CM Fractals as a support Scourge. But, you know, I didn't have the ability to give my group protection before. And I would now, that might help. But they're basically, if you just take a solid, you know, what you consider to be a solid healer, maybe a Firebrand or something, and compare it to Scourge, much better revive potential that they can do much more often. Less healing output, almost no stability, and swiftness. All right, Fell Beacon. And they have barriers, of course. Fell Beacon. This trait no longer reduces the cooldown of torch skills, and now also increases the damage of burning you inflict by 10%. Harrowing Wave, which is Torch 4, I believe. Reduce cooldown from 20 seconds to 16 in PvE. Increase the life force per target from 3 to 5%. Oppressive Collapse, that's Torch 5. Reduce cooldown from 25 to 20 seconds of PvE. Increase Might radius from 240 to 360. Might application per condition is now capped at 7 conditions in PvE only. Sadistic Searing has been reworked and now causes Nefarious Favor to burn nearby enemy targets. 2 stacks, 5 seconds of PvE. 1 stack, 4 seconds of PvP World v World. Demonic Lore, increased Torment damage bonus from 25% to 33% PvE. Sand Sage, this trait has been reworked. Gain expertise and concentration when you have an active Sand Shade. 225 in PvE, 150 in PvP and World v World. Let's see, Sand... Okay, so before... I think this was one of the traits before that gave you bonuses based on how many shades you had out, up to 3. But since they reduced the duration of shades from, what was it, 20 seconds down to 8, I believe, having even 2 shades out is a pain. So it is good that they reworked these traits if they're going to keep it that way. Because keeping 2 or 3 shades out was just absolutely impossible in some situations, except for very short bursts of time. So, let's see, Blood is Sand, this has been reworked, reduces all incoming damage when you have an active Sand Shade out, 15% in PvE, 7% in competitives. Alright. Ranger. Spirited Arrival. Increase Might stacks from 3 to 6 in PvE, increase Might duration from 9 to 12 in PvE. Spirited Arrival was a skill that some druid builds find themselves feeling like they have to use to keep Might up on their party, and it is an option for keeping Fury up, but the Fury has never really been a problem. We have a lot of options for Fury. It forces you to basically pet swap on cooldown in order to generate these boons. I really don't care for that because, you know, it's nice having one pet that's out and then another pet for a certain situation. Like, you know, you got a DPS pet out and then your second pet is really good at breaking break bars or something like that. So I really don't like that they're adding more might to this trait that forces you to do more frequent pet swapping, and I hope I don't have to use it. Call of the Wild increases boon duration from 10 seconds to 12 seconds in PvE. That is, of course, the Ranger Warhorn, which gives Fury, Might, and Swiftness. Now, the durations on this look really high because I'm in max concentration gear, so they have upped that a little bit. Sun Spirit, reduce the cooldown from 30 seconds to 20 in PvE. Increase Might duration from 12 seconds to 15 in PvE. 20-second cooldown, 15-second might duration. Is that before concentration? Yes, it is. Okay, so if I look in-game with my concentration gear, the might says it lasts 30 seconds with a 20-second cooldown. So it does have 100% uptime on itself. So if you need more might generation, Sun Spirit now covers itself. Water Spirit, increase the vigor duration per pulse from 1 second to 2 seconds in PvE. I have very mixed thoughts on this change. So Water Spirit now gives vigor. It used to give regen. It now does, I believe, 3 pulses with max concentration. You're looking at what? 12 seconds of vigor every 20 seconds, I believe. Let's do a quick test. So, yeah, so we got up to 12 seconds. And then this trait here, if you're using your pet's F2 every time it becomes available, 20-second internal cooldown, that's another 12 seconds every 20. So we have once again regained the ability to keep permanent vigor on our party. But it requires having Water Spirit slotted in the heal skill slot. So any fight where we have to bring Healing Spring to cure lots of conditions, or Glyph of Rejuvenation for burst healing options, like Veil Guardian, and Healing Spring is good for Soulless Horror and for Slothosaur. We cannot give our party 100% uptime on Vigor, because they moved it from a utility skill to a healing skill, and now it competes with too many other things. Unfortunate, but fortunately, compared to things like Prod and Regen, Vigor, I would say, is less important than those. But I think it's unfortunate. This does feel like a downgrade from before they made all these changes in the first place. Stone Spirit, reduce cooldown from 30 seconds to 25 in PvE. Increase the protection uptime from 1.5 to 2 seconds in PvE. I will have to do a lot of math off stream to see what this is going to change, because right now we get a little bit of protection from hitting our pet's F2 off cooldown with this Grandmaster trait. We get a little bit of protection from hitting a Glyph off cooldown with this Master trait, and then you can also get a little bit of protection from hitting Stone Spirit anytime it becomes available. But it's sometimes better to save Stone Spirit because it also brings Aegis. So it is possible that if you're using, like, let's say that's 3 things. So Glyph plus Master, F2 plus Grandmaster, Stone Spirit on its own. That's 2 traits and 3 skills. Possibly you can remove one of those now and not have to use like this plus 2 glyphs or this plus 1 glyph plus Stone Spirit. That would be nice, as right now it's a heavy investment of your pet's F2, 2 slots down here, a Master and a Grandmaster trait. And again, downgrade from what it was before, where before all you had to do was literally have Stone Spirit on your bar and that was it. But now it takes a Grandmaster trait, a Master trait, 2 skills, and a pet F2 with a greater than 20-second cooldown. So this is a mess. It's better than it was yesterday, worse than it was a month ago, for sure. Storm Spirit, reduce the cooldown from 30 seconds to 20 in PvE, increase the Fury duration from 1.5 to 2 seconds in PvE, increase the power coefficient from 1.0 to 2.0 in PvE. Now, Storm Spirit, I've not actually seen many builds using this because it gives Fury, and Fury, just Call of the Wild alone is 100% uptime on Fury. Like, just your Warhorn skill alone does that. And you can also have, like, Spotter, and there's other ways of getting Fury. Storm Spirit, however, does do 200 break bar damage. It does a daze, and if you're taking Nature's Vengeance, where your Spirit slammed twice, it would do 400 break bar damage, because it would hit 2 times. So, it does have some uses as an interrupt tool, possibly on some fights. However, as, like, just for boon for Fury, I just don't honestly see it ever being used for that, just because Warhorn 5 on its own is 100% uptime. With Alacrity, it's more than 100% uptime. And you can also get more from Spotter, and from Marksman, you can get even more from Lesser Call of the Wild. I don't know, it feels, compared to the other spirits, this is in like a weird niche. Okay, Druid. Grace the Land, increase the lack duration from 0.75 to 1 second in PvE. So Grace of the Land right now, I've made a few videos about this, but just talking about the facts, it was 0.75, which with concentration was 1.5 seconds per application. Now it's 2 seconds per application. So now if you go Astral and you hit 4, probably help if I had the trait equipped. If you hit the 4 or the 5, you'll pulse a little bit of alacrity out while you are doing that, and you can hopefully have some breathing room. Before the patch, or before today's patch, you would have to, spend a lot of time dipping in and out of astral form for the sole purpose of keeping a lack on your party, which I've shared my thoughts on that in multiple videos, so I won't go back into that. But if you enjoy this playstyle, hopefully you've got a little bit more breathing room now. Okay. Untamed, Let Loose, increased quickness duration from 4 seconds to 5 in PvE only. This trait will now immediately grant access to Unleashed ambush skills when swapping weapons while in the Unleashed state. Okay. So Untamed was supposed to become an option for like a quickness provider in the last patch, but they missed the mark and it was not able to provide enough quickness that it was realistically possible. So this is them, I believe, trying to fix that. Revenant, Herald. Elevated Compassion. Reduce quickness pulse interval from 3 seconds to 1 second. Reduce the quickness duration from 3 seconds to 1.25 seconds. This trait now converts 13% of the Herald's power into concentration in addition to other effects. So, that means a couple things. So instead of you giving 3 seconds of quickness every 3 seconds, you're giving 1.25 seconds of quickness every 1 second. So the uptime is actually greater, and the delay before it first applies to your party is actually shorter, which is awesome. For example, when I use my Herald, it is for the very important job of gathering my home instance. And whenever I hit the button to start generating quickness, there's a 3-second delay before it starts hitting. If you were in a group or something, that might be slightly annoying. This brings that down to a 1-second delay. And with 1.25 every 1 instead of 3 every 3, you might be able to get away, plus this right here, you might be able to get away with taking less concentration gear than you had to before, but I'll let people mathier than me do the math on that. Reinforced Potency also increases the concentration from 120 to 240 PvE. Again, that might free up some more concentration gear slots to allow you to put something else there. Shared Empowerment, increase might duration from 8 seconds to 12 seconds in PvE only. Let's see, Thief Deadeye. Okay, so we knew, these are the notes that they gave us some weeks ago. They said Quickness Deadeye is significantly overperforming damage-wise due to a bug with malicious intent. We're still discussing what we're going to do, but they will be finalized in time for the July release and will likely include a reduction of blah, 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 blah. So they said we're going to do something about Deadeye. It's out of control right now, but we don't know what. Today we find out what. One in the Chamber. Reduce the bonus damage from 300% to 10% in PvE only. Alright, I don't play Deadeye, but that's a very, very different number. Okay. Premeditation. Reduce damage bonus per boon from 1.5% to 1% in PvE only. Iron Sight. Reduce the damage bonus against marked targets from 15% to 10% in PvE only. Shadow Flare. Reduce power coefficient from 2.0 to 1. Shadow Swap. Reduce power coefficient from 2.0 to 1. Wait, is there no mention of the PvP-PvE divide? I'm very sad to see that. Hold on a second. Where is the clip? Okay, hold on a sec. I actually posted this on my Twitter here. All right. So this is a clip. Hold on a sec. I'm just going to mute this. All right, did you see my health bar? All right, I'm going to back it up there. Watch the health bar. In 1 second, I took 23,000 damage. That is Shadow Flare. That is the current state of Shadow Flare. Okay? They throw it, and then they mash the key, and it hits you, then they teleport into it, and you get 1-2'd for 10k, 10k, and then he used Steel Mobility for 2,300. Now, currently, the problem, as far as I know it, I was told this by Syndriner, who's like a Plat 3 thief, so I think it's true, is that right now Shadow Flare is using the PvE damage coefficients. It's not using, like, the PvP one is supposed to do less damage than PvE, but it's using the PvE one. And honestly, I thought they would hotfix that because it's one-shotting people at PvP, but they left it in for a month, which I'm not real thrilled about. but it seems instead of reducing the damage of it in PvP, they're just cutting the damage in half everywhere. So it's still going to be painful, but I don't know if I'm going to see it used as often as I have. Like over the last month, like so many thieves in PvP have just been abusing that bug. But yeah, I'm surprised that there's no mention of that. Spectre Shade Step. Reduced alacrity duration from 2 seconds to 1.25 in PvE only. Strength of Shadows. This trait no longer reduces incoming damage and no longer increases the duration of torment inflicted by Rotwallow Venom, but instead increases torment damage by 25% in addition to converting Vitality to Expertise. Larcenous Torment. This trait no longer increases torment damage and instead steals health from an enemy when you apply torment to them. Shadow Sap. Increased protection duration from 2.5 seconds to 4 seconds in PvE only, so more protection uptime from Spectre. And Warrior Berserker, Arc Divider, increased power coefficient from 2.5 to 3.5 in PvE only. Now, in the last patch, they gave Arc Divider a very, very hard nerf bat. So this is bringing it back a little. Heath the Soul, increased quickness duration from 3.5 seconds to 4 seconds in PvE only. So increasing quickness uptime from that trait a little bit more. And that is it. That is it. So as far as the stuff that I consider myself most knowledgeable about, hey, Festival of the Four Winds is back. That's awesome. Some new skins. Some bug fixes in the Fractal are good. Remember, you cannot dodge that one big thing now. You have to actually do the mechanic. Silent Surf Challenge mode is out. I'll try to get a guide out on that as soon as I figure out how to do it. Elementalist Catalyst has been out of control for the last month of PvP. I am not surprised to see them tampering that down a little bit. I'm not sure how much that's going to do, but we will see. A few buffs to stuff that Heal Scrapper uses a lot. Heal Scrapper feels really awkward right now because of its requirement to do blast and leap finishers. I feel like it's going to be really solid once it gets the Mechanist Mace, but right now it feels, just to me, this is just my opinion, it feels like it's in an awkward spot for the next month. So I've been playing mine a lot less because of that. Symbol, let's see, Willbender, Mesmer, Mirage. Necromancer, the Well of Blood doing less heals on you but more heals on teammates is interesting, but there's nothing else in here that's a big heal on teammates. So again, I feel just based on my own experience trying out Support Scourge with a Support Alacrity Scourge in Tier 4 Fractals and Fractal Challenge modes, it was totally fine up until Challenge modes. As soon as people started taking big damage, I could easily revive them over and over and over and over, but filling their health bars back up felt like it took forever. So I think they're probably great right now as one of the healers in a 10-man squad. In a 5-man group, your group needs to be decent at dodging things. Otherwise, it might be reviving them a lot. Ranger, I'm still like, I'm still very confused on this because they originally said like, oh, we're going to make some changes. We don't want you guys having to just smash the spirits button on cooldown every time it lights up. And I was like, oh, wow, that sounds awesome. Scrappers had to mash the gyro key every time it lights up. Rangers had to mash the spirits button every time it lights up. But they turned what was Water Spirit they turned what was Sun Spirit, which was Vigor, into Water Spirit plus a Grandmaster trait plus a pet's F2 off cooldown, and you have to give up better healing tools for certain fights to give Vigor. Okay, they turned what was just Stone Spirit into Stone Spirit plus a Grandmaster trait plus a pet's F2 plus a Verdant Etching plus a Glyph to give protection. So it's no longer one thing, now it requires 5. And maybe that will go down to 4 or even 3 with the increased duration that Stone Spirit got today. I need to look at the math some more. But in every aspect that I'm knowledgeable about, which I'm not perfect, I might make mistakes here, it seems like they made this just worse. Like, undeniably worse. So, not real happy about that stuff. I'm going to try this out to see if this gives enough breathing room that it's not painful. We will see, but yeah, other than that, I'll leave the rest of the stuff to the Deadeye mains, the Berserker mains, stuff like that to discuss, because although I dabble in those, I certainly don't consider myself an expert on them. But that is your notes for today. I've got people pinging me that there's new stuff on the gem store as well. Let's go over to the game really quick and see if there's anything really fancy. There's a lot of stuff on sale. I don't see anything that says new. I think I might have been lied to. Wait, Canthan Spiritualist Appearance Package. Is this it? Oh, an Elegant Canthan Appearance Package. Okay, hang on a sec. All right, so the... Very dour. Well, I mean... This backpack's been in the game for a long time. I actually have that backpack. I don't know if this thing is new. New mount scroll. What is the new mount scroll? Hold on, can I just go back to the main page? Adopt a new version of your mounts. All right, what do we got? Pyroclast Raptor, Striped Pool Raptor, Dark Mist Cuckoo. Oh my god. Lake Lord Cuckoo, Aurora Blessed Vulpine, Glacial Vulpine. Glad there's no spikes where you sit. Heavenly Thunder Nyan, Scaled Hellcat. Oh my god. Yo, Necromancers, you need this. You need this in your life. Lucent Tigress. Beautiful. Scaled Hellwing. Necromancers, please. Hooded Viper Noble. Oh, that's cool. It's like a hooded snake on the sky scale. That's clever. Raging Breeze Noble. Star Blessed Noble. This is just a sky scale that drank McDonald's Sprite. Okay, moving on. Marbled Slider Siege Turtle. Prehistoric Siege Turtle. Oh, it's got like a Triceratops head thing. That is pretty neat. That's cool. That's pretty neat. Alright, that's pretty rad. That is pretty rad. I will throw my name in the that's cool box. Okay. Think that is most of it. Let's really quickly, do I have a black line chest in my inventory? I do. Let's take a look. Is there anything new in here today? Infused Aurora chest guard skin. I think this is new. All right, so that misty stuff was not part of my outfit before. That's got to be coming from the chest piece. And it looks like it's a turtleneck. It goes all the way up to your chin. My shoulder is covering it a little bit. Hold on, let me see. Can I... Let me see, hide my beautiful, beautiful shoulder and gloves, and preview again. Oh, it goes all the way down. So if you're using small gloves, it goes all the way down to the wrist. Makes me think of Tron a little bit. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. I also think of Heralds a little bit. I don't know. The color scheme makes me think Heralds, because a lot of their spells have that type of jazz going on. Okay. Let's see. And then we got, the pudgy, the chunky Jade bot. He's been there for a little while. Still gorgeous. Bye. All right. Okay. I think that's everything for today. If I see anything else of note, I will make another video. But for now, that is it. If you got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, or any feedback on stuff I missed, I'm not perfect, please put it in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next one.